Hello everyone, my name is Louise and I'm from Creative Trail. Today I'm going to show you how to make a mini album, well at least my way anyway. Right, let's talk about the materials quickly, or should I say the tools first. I used my paper trimmer, a metal ruler, some wet glue, a Dahler, the Dual Bond, gel ink pen, black and white, which is optional. Then this little gadget is very famous in the rock art world and the nail art, but I actually used it to score my paper, but I'll show you how to do that later. Then we also have some foam core, just to raise one or two objects, and a very nice sharp craft knife, some gaffer tape, some double-sided tape, pencil, and then this is what you call a corner cutter. I was lucky enough to have one sent from me from Scrapworks. Thank you so much, Scrapworks. And the scissors, bone folder, and a hammer with your eye set tool, because we're going to set a set of small eyelets. Okay. Then as well is the punch. If you're lucky enough to have a punch like this, I use the 4mm and the 7mm, but that's also optional. Then I used distress ink, and the distress color I used was Gathered Twigs. I think it worked pretty well with the graphics that I inked digitally as well. Then of course, and we're going to use the self-healing mat as well. Right. Now that we have talked about the tools, let's talk about the materials. So the materials you're going to need is some black album cardstock, either 7 A3 sheets or 13 A4 sheets. Some chipboard for your album cover, 6 little magnets, garden party digital kit, 2 small eyelets, and a small piece of ribbon. So the cutting guide is made very, very easy to follow. On the left side, there's a little square with a number, for example, A1 or A2, and there's an empty box next to that where you can tick it off as you cut and score it. Very easy to follow. Right, let's talk about the graphics real quick as we flip through all the pages. You'll see each graphic has also got like a little bit of an ink marking or distressed marking around the edges. Page 1, you'll see there's a front cover, back cover, and a spine plus a little title. Page 2, it's got the inside front cover. It's got signature page A, which you'll have 1 and 2, and then you'll have a signature page B, page 1 and 2, and then you'll also have strips that goes with it. You will also have the inside cover box that we put together. There's tabs, there's embellishments, there's all sorts of stuff inside this little digital kit. There's extra pieces for you to swap and change as you feel fit. Extra strips, there's little corner pockets, lots of different little tabs, extra pattern pieces, a long strip of extra pattern. Yeah, there is just so much that you can actually put together with this little digital kit, and I thoroughly enjoyed putting it together. Okay, we're going to start off with the cover. We have 2 pieces, one that is A1 and one that is A2. These 2 pieces are to be overlapped to create a 35 centimeters by 16 centimeters. You'll see the bottom piece where the chipboard is on is already 35 centimeters by 16 centimeters. I have an A3 sheets, that's why I was able to cut it like that. I actually prefer the A3 sheets. But if you don't have A3 sheets and you've only got can only get your hands on A4, then you're going to cut yours to A1 and A2. Okay, and then you'll overlap them and make it one piece. Well, I'm fiddling with the chipboard pieces there, trying to put it into the right position there on the 16 by 35 centimeter piece. Just the top right, you'll see there's a piece of paper that says A. That is cutting folders. I've put a link down below for you to use as well. And each section on your cutting guide, A, B, C, D, you can put your pieces in, fold it, and keep it all separate one side so you don't lose them and they are not flying all over the place. Okay, so I'm busy with the gaffer tape now. I am just carefully trying to center the chipboard on the tape, and I'm going right round. You see it's in the middle of the gaffer tape. It's pretty tricky trying to get it in the center, but I suppose it doesn't have to be dead center. You don't have to measure it or anything, but just eyeball it. I'm sure you'll get it into the center. The tricky part comes now where you've only got two hands and you're trying to cut the gaffer tape now. Okay, so after I managed to cut it, you'll see that the piece that hangs over the chipboard, you're going to put the point of your scissors, I don't know why I'm not showing you that part, the point of the scissors into the corner of the chipboard, and you're going to just slit that piece that overhangs, and then you're going to fold it over onto the chipboard. Okay, so you're going to do this right round, and then when you're finished with this side, you will do exactly the same to the opposite side. So you just covering the edging with the gaffer tape. And you're going to burnish each side as you carry on with the gaffer tape. So with your bone folder, just give it a good burnish. When you finish that one, you're going to do the other two as well. Okay, I've done all three pieces now with the gaffer tape. Now I've just lined them up on the black cardstock just so I can position it. You'll see that I'm going to draw a line now in between the front cover and the spine, and the spine and the back cover, just to know where I'm going to stick them. And I've left about roughly 1/2 centimeter in between each side on the spine. So now that I've done that, I've already put my double-sided tape on, so I'm just going to peel that off and use my pencil line as my marker, and yeah, eyeball it that your measurement top, side and bottom is like even. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get my self-healing mat, and I am going to use my bone folder, and I'm going to score a line along the edging of my album right round, and this just helps to make it fold a bit better. Then I've got this corner cutter gadget again, and sometimes I use a pencil and then just cut it with the scissors, but I actually prefer using the craft knife, so that's what I'm doing now, using the craft knife and the corner cuts and cutting the corners off. Now I'm adding the double-sided tape to the black cardstock, and I'm sticking it down towards the chipboard. So once I've stuck the double-sided tape right round, I'm now making pencil marks. And in actual fact, I would suggest if your double-sided tape doesn't stick, then put a dribble of glue right round on the edges there where I'm drawing the pencil lines, if you find that your double-sided tape isn't working, or not sticking, should I say. So we're going to burnish the double-sided tape right round. If you want, you can add your glue to it as well, but I would suggest you just do one side at a time if you're going to add glue. I did add glue, but I think I only added it afterwards, after I had stuck everything down after a few minutes, and I decided to just put some glue on as I suggested. And yeah, it works fantastically, especially that Jewel Bond glue. So now I've done the side, and now we're going to do the bottom or the top, whichever way you want to look at it, and pull it up really, really tight. As you are burnishing it, burnish inside where the spine is, that little gap. Yeah, you know, tuck it in, tuck the bone folder into that space, left and right, and just wangle it from one side to the other until you've got a nice good fold. And then you're going to do that with the next gap as well. Folding over the album also helps quite a bit with the scoring there. Okay, so you've seen me do this side. Now I'm going to do the other side as well. I'm just going to fast forward the video a little bit. So on the corners here, you see me folding in these slight little sharp pointed edges from the paper, folding it over, and the 45 degrees. So all I did was just fold it in, tuck it in. I didn't want to cut it. I was scared I was going to cut too much, so I just scored it in. And that is basically our cover all done. Okay, we're working with B at the moment, which is our hinge. So you've got B1 and B2. I'm using my very old paper trimmer to score. I use that nifty gadget I was telling you about in the beginning, that nail art tool. And yeah, so you line it up, B1 at 11 centimeters, and you're going to score at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and so on, all the way down to 1. So you're going to have a centimeter score line right through this little piece of paper. You will see as I'm measuring, as I get to 3 centimeters, I actually take the paper out and I flip it around, and then I measure 10 and 9. And then I've got a centimeter right through the piece of paper. So for B2, you're going to line it up on the 9 centimeters, and you're going to score it at 8 centimeters and 7 centimeters. Then you're going to turn it around and you're going to do the same. So really you're going to have 2 centimeter strips scored on each side of this piece, and this is going to be your outside hinge, and the one we did before will be the inside hinge. Okay, so here I'm just marking everything. Your first centimeter, think of it as a ladder climbing up. your first centimeter from the bottom is going to be a space. Then you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's going to be another space, and it's going to be another 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a space. The groups of 4 is the pieces that you're going to glue together. So that is going to create your 2 hinges. I'm going to fold it now, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all folded. So here I am showing you your hinge. You've got 2 hinges there. Hinge 1, space, hinge 2, and there's a space. So I'm just scoring these, burnishing these pieces on the end, the 2 centimeters. So this is going to be your outside hinge, and that is going to be your inside hinge. So I measured the inside of the outside hinge, and it's about 5 centimeters. To get to the center, which is half of 5 centimeters, it's about 2.5 centimeters. And that is where you're going to line up your inside hinge, and you're going to stick that down flat like that, just like that. You will see once you've stuck it down to the center and you see the 2 pieces as one piece now. Okay, now I'm just going to start gluing everything in between the 1 to 4 for the hinge. I'm going to glue that down, and yeah, it's really pretty simple, and there's been lots of videos of how to do this as well, so I'm just going to speed this part up. So here I am just trying to figure out where exactly am I going to glue the top piece to the bottom piece. So if you looking at your pieces, the top piece with the bottom piece, the top centimeter spaces on each side of the top piece is going to make with the bottom piece almost like a 1.5 centimeter gap. So what I did was I lined it up, and then I drew my lines, and then so I know where to put the glue. So that's me putting the glue there in the center, and then I will add the top piece on top of the bottom piece. I think I had put in far too much glue there. Because I'm just burnishing in between the hinges here. I'm trying to do a really good job here. I don't want the pieces to fall off or fall apart in the album. Okay, so now we are busy with C, which is the front inside cover. We've done our cover and we've done our hinge. We have 4 hinges, 1, 2, 3, 4. So before we stick the hinge down, we need to stick the inside cover first, which is in C, and that would be C1. So the score line that is on these two pieces, which measures at 12 centimeters, the score line, that is actually lined up with the space on each side of your spine. So now I'm going to start gluing these pieces down, and then there where the score line is, I'm going to burnish inside that gap on either side of the spine. Working from the edge of the album, I am starting to glue these pieces down. I'm going to burnish them softly at first, so that there's no bubbles with the wet glue in between. So if the glue seeps out, I quickly wipe that up, and as I do this, I work myself towards the spine, and there by the gap of the spine, that's where we're going to burnish really, really well. As I'm burnishing here, I haven't put glue on that little piece there underneath the flap for the spine. So I'm burnishing and making sure you see there's just a little bit of glue there. I will add some glue as soon as I am happy with the amount of paper that's in that gap. So push your paper just a little bit so it fills up that gap in between the spine nice and comfortably. Burnish really, really well. Take your time. And then when you are satisfied with your burnishing and there's no bubbles with the wet glue in between anyway, you can then add a bit of glue underneath that piece there now. Okay, so I'm just going to forward this piece now because it's a lot of burnishing that I did here, and I'm just doing the same to the other side. Remember, your score line will match up to your gap on the side of your spine. I'm just going to forward this a little bit, and then I'll see you just now. Okay, so we are finished with the album now, or at least the cover. We're just going to stick the hinge in, and then we can get to the fun part, which is the pages. You will see on the right side there is a 2 centimeter hinge, 1, 2, 3, and the one on the other side. Let's look at this guide that I've added into your cutting guide as well. For your hinge B1 and B2, at the bottom there's a blue piece here that represents your hinge, one of your hinges. Where the red lines are, that's how you need to cut each hinge. I hope that makes a bit of sense. So here I am trying to explain to you, like the example in the cutting guide, the hinge like we just looked at, the blue section. I don't think I brought my hinge closer to the camera. I should have brought it higher up so you guys could see how I cut it, but I'm hoping that the blue section in the guide actually explains it pretty well. So here I am just carrying on. Okay, so here I am. I'm just quickly cleaning up my mess, getting everything out the way, and we're going to stick down the hinge now onto the spine. So with your hinge, the two side flaps are not part of the sticking down. So fold them up like I just did, and at the back you're going to glue it. You're going to put it dead center on your spine, and the measurement at the back where you're going to glue is, I think it's 5 centimeters if I remember correctly. So right here I was just measuring with a pencil. I see you can't see it really with on the camera. I must definitely come much closer. But you'll see I was trying to show you two lines there. The backing of the spine, there is a small piece on each side of the spine that does stick out. Don't stress about that. Just make sure that your hinge is dead center onto your spine. And also remember to align it with the backing paper that we put down before the hinge now, C1 and C2. Okay, so I did a lot of burnishing over here. I took my time making sure that it was dead center. There wasn't a lot of glue that was in between each hinge, behind on the spine. So as soon as the glue seeped out, I would wipe it very quickly. And yeah, so just a lot of burnishing that's going to take place now. So I'm going to forward this some more. Okay, so we are now finished with our cover. I'm going to tidy up, and I will see you in part 2 where we do the pages.